All right.
We are live. Welcome to the Pedro and Hannibal podcast. Now, my name is Hannibal. Now, we have someone that came back from their lovely vacation, just going all over the tropics, just, doing some pimp type stuff. I was going to say shit. I don't know why I didn't say
We global. We global.
we go global. My boy Pedro back from his vacation.
What's
How are
up?
you
What's
doing?
up, man? I'm good, man. I'm chill. I'm good. I
You still
mean,
got that vacation glow where you like everything is
yeah.
so
I mean,
nice
I'm
and
just.
airy, is what they call it, what the Jamaicans say.
Yeah. You're right, actually. And I'm feeling good, man. When you go on a cruise for 7 days, it's good times. Just it takes you a couple days to get back into the swing of like reality
Yeah.
and unwinding. But I got no complaints, man. Life is good, so I'm happy to be back.
Awesome. And I appreciate everyone who's already in the chat coming through. Cliff Dog, I hope you feel better. I know you say he's not feeling too good while was going on. And the first question I want to ask Pedro, I mean, we didn't get a lot of details of your vacation. Did you see any wild riot slash orgy kind of situations where families like people that got upset because they weren't in the threesome, like any kind of fights over relationships in the cruise when you were out for that 7 days?
Let me tell you something. No, not at all.
Oh
The only
man.
thing I can give you that's a little bit saucy, and it
Oh,
happens like every single moment,
yeah.
is when this was my first cruise, right? So I didn't know what to expect, but I've been around. I've actually never been around this many people in one kind of place. It was 5,800 people for 7 days. But this is like a small city, basically, right? It's like
Yeah,
18
that's it.
levels,
Jeez,
just
that's not big.
ridiculous. But you see similar faces because people, navigate to
Yeah.
similar places, right? Anyways, the most I would see is people just get frustrated that they had to wait for elevators or, wait in line a little while. Americans are impatient. That's what we do, right?
I'm
But
impatient.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you know what I'm saying? Like you're waiting for the elevator for 30 seconds, you think it's the end of the world, right? Or you're waiting in a chicken line. There's a good place called Big Chicken,
Yeah.
and it was like phenomenal. I ate there like 5 times, but the line's a little long. It's like maybe 20 minutes. So that's it. People get a little hangry, but nah, man, good
Pedro, I'm
people,
gonna ask
good
you a
vibes.
really interesting question. So, the demographic of the person that was at the chicken line being very impatient, were they mostly
No, they were
look?
not mostly African American. They were not. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I was just about to say this cruise was so diverse, bro. I saw groups of Puerto Ricans and
Yeah.
blacks and whites and browns and yellows and Asians and all these people. Like it was crazy, man. It was like a melting pot. It was nuts,
Yeah.
and everybody was really in a good mood, except when you had to wait for an elevator. So it was amazing. The service and the hospitality is next level. Like just not one bad experience. Every time you're walking around, these people are their workers are smiling. They got high energy. They remember you. Like it is absolutely amazing. From the guy walking around just sweeping up stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, we would like put a cup down somewhere, and I look, it'd be within a minute somebody's picking that shit up. Like it's
Yeah.
just, I saw a lady trip and fall a little bit. She was fine, but it was kind of funny. I laughed in my head, and she like spills her drink on like this carpeted area, right?
Yeah.
30 seconds, bro. Somebody's there cleaning it up. It was just so
A
5,800 people,
well-oiled machine.
well-oiled machine, like nothing I've seen. And I worked at casinos, and like this was like next level. Almost 3,000 workers combined to
Also, the
5,800
ratio,
guests
yes, the ratio
is
was
amazing,
crazy
dude. Like
too. Yeah.
it's just like nothing I've ever done. Now, will I ever do a cruise again? Maybe. But good experience. I mean, great experience. So yeah.
That's good, man. And we'll see how long the vacation glow lasts for you until you're back to I hate everything or you're tired of
One more
everything.
day. I'll be back to work tomorrow. So one more day.
I feel you. So on this show, we'll be talking about some NFL stuff. Obviously, we know right now, currently, the Cowboys are beating the crap out of the Buccaneers, and
Mm,
thank God I did not bet on the game. Now it's 24-0
that's crazy.
Dallas. Appreciate shout out to Nova Dasher who jumped in last week for Pedro. We had a great conversation. He was talking about all types of goofy stuff, World Balloon Championships, slap fighting.
I gotta watch the replay. I haven't watched it yet.
I've
I gotta check it
seen,
out.
yeah, I saw. We didn't put this clip in the last episode, but it was slap fighting. One dude slapped this other dude, and this guy face swelled up, like started to swell. I'm like, that does not look that looked pretty dangerous. Like, is that somewhere on his brain? Like, why is his face swelling up? It wasn't
I
a
saw that
punch.
today. I saw that
Okay, you
today
saw the
on
same thing. Yeah,
TikTok. Yeah, it was his whole side was like crazy, and he started like pointing in his head or something. Or
that's
yeah,
dangerous. I don't
nuts.
know. Like, the whole slap fighting thing, I don't find it entertaining. Like clips, but I don't see how I'm gonna watch that and that to see people defensively get hit in the face with there's no offense defense. You just sitting there and getting it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it's
But
crazy.
that looks scary. So I don't know. That was kind of weird. But
Yeah,
yeah, shout out to Nova that. And I told him because he was like, yeah, man, Cowboys are gonna lose. I'm like, don't bet with your emotion because we all don't like the Cowboys. Cowboys suck.
nobody likes
But
Cowboys.
I'm not gonna bet money on games that I have emotional investment in. So I didn't
Yeah,
bet on the Giants. It just doesn't work well for me, but at least for me, for most people in terms of betting with your emotion. But I don't know. What do you think? Like in terms of okay, did you
I
think
don't.
how you
I
thought the
usually
Cowboys was
don't.
gonna work?
I don't bet with my emotions, and I was gonna say before this game, or my thought was it's gonna be close. There's two options. I didn't think it can go either way. It was gonna be close, and I could see Buccaneers pulling it out, or it's gonna be a blowout on the Dallas side. And I think it looks like
Yeah,
we're leaning towards a blowout. A
yeah,
lot of football left. We've seen just this week. Miami was down. They came back and had a lead at one point. Almost, had the ball at the end. Could have maybe tied the game with the Buffalo. That would have been a huge upset. This game, Dallas is favored, I think, by 14, so I'm not surprised by the score. Jaguars were down 27 points, came back and won. So this game's not over. Tom Brady's come back from
yeah,
more, deficit, but it's definitely leaning that way. But
yeah.
let's forget about that. Congratulations to my man. Let's give him a
Wait, what
little bit of
happened? Wait,
shine.
what's going on? What's going on? What's
I
happening?
think New York won yesterday. Kind of an upset, right? They look good. Danny Dimes. Let me. Okay, listen. I give Danny Dimes.
Top five.
I give him shit
Top
because
five.
because of how he looks. That's just how I am. Okay, he looks goofy. He's weird sometimes,
He's a good
but
looking guy.
but he played his butt off yesterday. All his 17 rush attempts, 70 something yards, looked really good.
Yeah.
Good decision making. His receivers showed up. Saquon did his thing. Defense made plays when they needed to. Shut down the best wide receiver in the game. Averages 120 yards a game or something to 47 yards. The G-men look good, and now they're going to play the Eagles. Who knows? Divisional foe. So, I
Yeah.
mean, anything can happen. Jalen Hurts, is he still banged up?
Yeah.
The G-men looked good. I really like that coach. And they're looking like the Eli Manning uh, teams that won the Super Bowls. Like they didn't in the regular season, they weren't great, but the playoffs came. They played well enough. I think Danny Dimes is playing in some ways better than Eli Manning was in those runs.
Yep.
So I'm happy for him, man. I was excited to see them winning, and I'm going to root for them in the rest of the playoffs. So,
Well, I appreciate all those things you said were pretty much on par, which I've never seen you string that many things that were correct and one's sitting right there. So it made sense. Giants, again, I thought of all of the games, the one upset. I think everyone kind of agree though that Giants were probably the one game where they, the underdog probably had a good chance winning.
yeah.
Jacksonville,
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming. How many interceptions Trevor Lawrence threw? Four.
I saw he threw 4 in the first half. I mean, that's crazy. But I blame that on that's bad coaching on the Chargers side. They
Yeah.
didn't run the ball enough, and when you're up that much, you try to run clock out, and they're just horrible, just
Yeah.
horrible offensive play calling in the second half of that game from the Chargers, and that allowed Jacksonville to have a few extra possessions, and they turned those into points, and them going for 2 kind of late in the game so that they had the option to kick a field goal instead of tie the game, possibly win by 1 was great coaching by the Jaguars coach. So I think they got out coached. I mean, I think that's what happened to me in that game. So
Hey, you know what? I tell you, I tell you, it's going to be very interesting. I mean, New York Football Giants, as I said from the very beginning of the season, I said, Pedro, they're going to go. Okay. I'm not going to pretend I didn't know. Has been a pleasant surprise.
yeah.
I told you, like, I'm not sure if Danny Dimes or Vanilla Vic, as they're calling it now, is if he was going to be the guy because he needed to do this at the biggest stage.
Mm-hmm.
So this is it. This is our quarterback, for better and for worse. You don't win a playoff game on the road doing what he did, throwing, running for 78. He threw for 300, ran for 78.
That's never been done before in playoffs, and with 2 touchdowns. Nobody's ever done that. That's a crazy stat line. That's crazy.
So for better for worse, that's the guy. There's no other. We're gonna try to figure out. No, this is it. He's probably gonna get his contract, whether he wins on with the Eagles. Like I said, it's possible. Anything is possible. But now everyone's kind of thinking like, hey, But the last time the Eagles did play the Giants, not the last game, like when everyone was kind of really strong in terms of health, they got destroyed. The last one, they actually was holding on. And the problem is when you have a team like the Giants having confidence, anything can happen. Mm-hmm. I'm not betting a dime on that game. Gonna watch as a fan. It was uncomfortable to watch the Vikings, but at least I knew one thing about Kirk Cousins. He's going to Kirk Cousins it. Of course he was.
He's so what the hell was the play calling in that game too? And this is the head coach from the Vikings, good play caller. I mean, what was that? On a 4th and 8, they throw a 3-yard out with a defender right there. The best chance is you're basically saying, the only option I have is to throw it to my tight end when I got Justin Jefferson and Delvin Cook coming out the backfield. Maybe
it wasn't a screen or anything, so I don't know.
So you pass it to your tight end, which is good tight end, and hope that he breaks a tackle. And that is your season.
That's not a good play call.
But that's Kirk Cousins. I think he.
Oh yeah, and also I think the head coach said that was not the play. That was not for him to throw. It was it's Kirk Cousins just. And remember, he was at one point he was in Commanders. Why did Commanders let him go? It's just for some reason the guy can't do it when it's really important to do it.
No, you've seen. I think I know his prime time when he's playing in prime time, and every playoff game is prime time, right? Because you're one of one game that's on at the exact same time.
Everyone's watching you.
Everybody's watching you. I think he's won one primetime game his whole career.
He's won out of 4, at least in the playoffs, I believe.
But I'm talking primetime. So when he's been on like Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football, he loses. He's like 1 in 10 or 1 in 11, something like that.
Something really bad.
It's bad.
But he can't pay, man. I get shout out to him. I mean. But actually, I want to talk about something real quick before we jump back into the playoffs. Real quick, it's Martin Luther King Day. I think I'm sure you had a day off. I did a little bit of working, but kids are off and just kind of reflecting on a lot of the things that he stood for, and it's interesting now when you talk about Martin Luther King. Both the left and right want to argue about what Martin Luther King stood for and how it relates to whatever the hell dumb positions they want to put in.
Yeah. And
there was one thing, it was really interesting and kind of a weird story that kind of was trending. So there was a special statue that was, or I guess, created in honor of MLK. And I think it was in Boston. And I don't know if you've seen it, Pedro, but I want to show it to you. And you tell me what you think when you see this statue and give me your thoughts. And if you guys in the comments, you haven't checked this out.
Who's the statue? You said the statue?
Yeah, the statue is supposed to represent Martin Luther King.
Okay, let's take a look.
Okay. So we're looking at it right now, and you guys just type in Martin Luther King statue on any Google or something. What do you think this is supposed to be, or what this is supposed to represent?
I tell you what my first thought is, and this is bad, but I got to be honest. I don't think of MLK when I see this.
No, that's the first thing that. Yes,
yeah, I've seen. So I feel like I saw another statue, 1 or 2 of him, and it was him standing upright, and you could tell that it's him, right?
Mm-hmm. Like, that one's probably in Memphis.
Is this like? It looks like somebody like falling down. Like this looks. I don't know. It doesn't look good to me.
What is happening here?
What's happening?
What is going on here?
Is that somebody trying to hug somebody? It looks like somebody falling with their elbow going down. It looks like these 2 things I see look like legs, like he's collapsing. Is this supposed to be like, I don't even want to say it. Anyways, I don't like it.
So I already know what it's supposed to be, but
okay.
So if an artist, what I think is modern art sucks. Modern art is terrible. I don't know what they're doing. I guess they're trying to be too fancy, or they're trying to outthink the room. They're trying to outcreate everyone, and everything has to be so abstract and weird. Like, who put this idea in and they thought, yeah, go for it. Like, yeah, this is cool. How is it supposed to remind me of anybody? It's just like two hands and it looks like poo. Like, it looks like poo hand grabbing. It looks erotic. I don't know what it's supposed to be, right?
It doesn't look good. Where is this?
I think it's in Boston. So, but I actually found the picture they're supposed to, I guess, represent. So let me show you what it's supposed to be. Like that. Him hugging, embracing.
They could have just made that.
Yeah, that would have made sense.
Wouldn't that be better?
Like the hug aspect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are his hands.
Yes.
And those are her. Those are her shoulder and maybe her. Okay, yeah. That's bad. It's bad.
It's a bad. I don't understand it. I just don't understand how that's supposed to. I just feel like very, very. It represented a little bit of that modern art. Like, I don't know if. Yeah, I'm sure. Like, you're in St. Louis, so I don't know how. Actually, I like your neighborhood. I like how everything kind of had a still
we have some
that
great
old
architecture
school
here.
Look.
Yeah, a lot of old buildings, but very. Our architecture is really old in certain spots, but really, really neat, in my opinion.
And the problem is that in a lot of the renovative properties in Brooklyn, particularly in Brooklyn, but in New York in general, everything is moving away from how it looked, and it makes sense, right? A lot of buildings are old and needs to be retrofitted. Needs, things, there's health codes now, and the walls are super thin. If you've been in a apartment building with a really thin wall, you hear everything. So that kind of makes sense. But the way buildings are, everything is just so bland and boxed in and gray and that blue grayish color, and there's no shapes, there's no figures. Everything just looks so boring.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the hell that was. I agree with you, Cliff Dog. Yeah, it just looks stupid.
And that costs time and money, and somebody that's talented had to make that, and they could have done a better job, right?
Anything.
So,
they could do anything.
That's bad.
Bobby thought it was him ducking from getting hosed down. And the thing is, that's funny. It's funny. I understand sometimes you want art to be able to look at it and then you come up with your own interpretation.
Yeah.
But
not with for me, not with a historic figure like that, right? Interpretation is going to be a canvas piece or some kind of a mural or something, but like not a human being that was a civil rights activist and leader, right?
Show his whole body, or at least one half of it, top half.
Something.
It's just so like to a point where, and is that the intention? I want to build this so when people have to ask questions, what the hell is this, right? Like I don't know if that was MLK unless it was a video. So it was a weird. It didn't make a lot of sense. But I hope you guys, went on YouTube, looked at a speech or two, conversations, tons of that on YouTube on Martin Luther King and a lot of things. Super smart dude, obviously. Doctorate. Why he even named himself Martin Luther. Like, there's a lot of things there's a lot of cool trivia, not even much of trivia stuff that we should really pay attention to based on today. So I didn't get to watch the Knicks game because that's one of my traditions of MLK. They play pretty early in the afternoon. I totally forgot about it. I think they won. They've
Randall dunk. They've been on a roll, man. They've been on a roll a little bit.
Brunson, remember we talked all that shit about Brunson? You know what? We don't know sports. We don't know.
I don't think we know much, Hannibal. I think that's the one thing since July. I think the one thing that we've been able to establish with this podcast, guys, is Hannibal and I aren't that bright.
We don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
We don't know what we're talking about. And you guys are along for the shit show. There you go. So, that's about what I get out of it.
This guy's averaging, 30 the last couple of games?
Yeah, he's probably going to be, he could be an all-star. Maybe the East is loaded in the guard position, but he's playing really well. I saw some numbers from him. He had a stat line that hadn't been achieved by Knicks since Carmelo Anthony back in I think 2014 or something like that. And Anthony had some really great years with the Knicks. And he's the main guy. He's the main guy on that team. He makes that team go, in my opinion.
And Randall doing his thing. That dunk Randall had, he killed someone. Randall should go. Nasty. That's assault. Like,
that was nasty.
That was and I've seen some, John Morant's been dunking on people. But I haven't seen one where, because the last one I think it was pretty good 2 days ago. John Morant did his thing, but the dude jumped up, he missed the dunk. missed the block, but he didn't fall. He kind of just, jumped up and down. It's like, all right, whatever, I got dunked on. But Randall killed that guy. Like it was obliteration. And man, those kind of dunks just wake you up like, whoa, damn.
I like seeing a good. There's so many good ones, and sometimes when the guy's a little bit bigger, like when Ja does it, it's like a more electrifying. Like, wow, like this guy's he's not a huge guy, but he's just soaring in the air. He's dunking over guys that
powerful,
that are always bigger than him, right?
Yeah.
Always, right? And it's a lot of power, and he's cocking it back. It's like amazing to watch. But like Randall, he's a big dude, so when he does it, the force behind it, right?
He's
you
mad.
Understand after he does it, there's that rim shaking. The guy that he hits or dunks on is probably getting pushed around a little. It's a whole nother feel. But I was down for it. When you sent me that clip, I was like, damn.
Yeah, let me see if I can put it up real fast. If you need a wake up, like something to kind of start your day, watch a couple of dunks. Let me see if I can put it up real fast. You don't need a sound. Who cares? No, like get like ooh.
Yeah, see, he ends up on the ground. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's just completely
dead. And he laughs.
Look at him. He's like, oh, I'm gonna be on.
You need to get back up faster, right?
Yeah.
When you get dunked like that, you got to get up. You can't.
Well, there's two ways you play that. Okay, let's watch it again. Hold up.
Yeah, like get off of me.
And he flexes. But there's two ways. Oh, let's look at it again. So when you get dunked on like that, obviously you're embarrassed. Like, it is what it is. But so you either stay down for a while and pretend like you're hurt a little bit. Okay. Or you get up immediately and just say, nothing happened. And you shake it off. But you can't. It's almost like if you just stay down for 2 seconds, that's bad, right? You got to stay down for like 20, or you got to get up immediately.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's no in between. Like,
yeah, that was a pretty. And we talked about this before. What is in the water in the NBA? These NBA players. What's going on? Is it the defense sucks now? Like how? Like I've seen some crazy stats the last couple of weeks from not just one or two players. This is a few of them dropping crazy amount of points. Yeah, crazy dunks. I mean, Kyrie, every game he's cutting someone up like he's playing a video game. What's going on? Like,
I don't know, man. I mean, the NBA's had scoring shifts in certain decades that have been real high, and back in like the 70s, early 80s, scoring was actually kind of up a little, and then it went down in the 90s. But I think that we talked about this before, like the amount of threes that are being taken by every team every night, just about, right? Some more than others, right? But like, everybody's got a few guys that chuck up some threes. When you have that and these shot clocks, there's no, these balls moving around quick, shots are going up quick, and they're threes and blah, blah, blah. When you miss on three, it's typically a long rebound, so a little transition going on possibly, right?
Yeah.
I think we just the possessions are up, right? So when these possessions go up, if each team has the ball 6 to 10 more times a game, you're going to have more points, right? And then your top players are probably going to score a little more. But there's been a scoring barrage last month. I mean, Jason Tatum just broke the all-time Boston Celtics record for most 50-point games in the history of the organization. The Boston Celtics, guys, have the most, out of any franchise, the most Hall of Famers, right, in that organization. He just broke a record. Like, that's, and we're not even like, that's not even like huge news because like, 50 points, it's whatever. That's not a 50 piece in the NBA is a big deal, right?
I think
now you guys got dudes dropping 71. Like, what's his face the other day? It's like it's nuts.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell. It's weird, but it's coming at the right amount of time because we're getting into the halftime and things gonna really ramp up. Brooklyn Nets are doing anything, but KD's hurt, so I'm sure they're gonna backslide a little bit. But the NBA looking good, and the Knicks are doing well. Grizzlies, I think they're 10 games in streak. I think they won something like that, something crazy, definitely double digits. So it's going to be a fantastic time if you are an NBA fan. Yeah. So let me ask you a question, guys. Actually, Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens lost. Probably because he wasn't there, but they actually had a chance, and that's the sad part.
They did.
The Ravens defense kept them into if they had Lamar, they probably would have won. But he's waiting for his contract. He didn't get paid, and also he has a really bad sprain. I think it's grade 2 or grade 3. It's a point where he said, "I'm not going to play." But one of the things is he didn't travel with the team. Now it's a away game. If you have an injury, in terms of how much effort it takes to get on a plane, playing in terms of elevation can affect a couple things. Sometimes you can't travel a team with you have a sprain. But there's some back and forth with people saying, okay, why you didn't show up? Some people are like, why you didn't play? You quit on your team. This is the playoffs. And one of the people who said he should have played was Michael Vick. I don't know if you saw this clip.
I did.
Yeah. So we're gonna play it real quick. It's about a minute about his thoughts on what Lamar Jackson should have done.
If this team was, 2-15, I could see him not coming back and trying to finish out the season. It just seems that, we all play this game to try to win a Super Bowl. Like, that's the main goal. And if you have a team that's good enough to get to the playoffs, and
you guys, we're not having this conversation. That contract.
You're not having
you're 3 games.
I understand.
Away.
He's playing the game. I don't know if I would have the balls to do it. I'm being real honest with you. To sit out. But kudos to him. I mean, he's about his business. He figures they don't want to pay him. So,
but Coach say, like you just said, it's the playoffs, man. You 3 games away. Put a brace on it. Get it going.
And look,
put a brace on it. Let's go.
It's hard to say that though.
Right. We don't know if he's not.
I don't know the extent of his injury.
I played the whole season on a sprained MCL, so
yeah, I understand if he's not ready.
Whole season.
But with a lower body injury, he's going to be up in the press box. He's not going to be on the field for me.
Charles.
Okay. I've got to put Charles Wilson in there as well with his thoughts.
There's a lot there.
Yeah, give me your thoughts, because.
So this is I was on YouTube a little bit today, and I saw a couple of videos. I actually saw one right before we went live. From what I heard, this is from players in the Ravens, and I heard Robert Griffin III talk about this a little bit. He was former teammates. He was a Baltimore Raven. I think he was teammates 2 or 3 years with Lamar. So they have a little bit of relationship, right? Lamar Jackson didn't go to the game, didn't travel with the team, but he was sick. Beyond the injury, he was sick and ill. So sometimes when that happens as well, they don't want you to travel because you don't want to make somebody else sick, right?
Right.
So I think there's other, Marlon Humphreys, I think a defensive back or a safety, said he's been seeing Lamar Jackson limp around the facility. Like, he has an injury, right? So while Vic is saying, hey, I'd suit up and play, sometimes, I get it. Sometimes, but also if you're playing and you're injured like that, are you better injured than a fresh Tyler Huntley, right? Is there, are you letting your pride and ego get in the way? Also, he doesn't have a contract, so he hurts himself even more by playing in any of the games.
Why would they pay him?
Then why would somebody else maybe not pay? That could cost you $100 million, right?
$200 million at this point, what he's looking for.
Exactly. So I don't have a problem with what Lamar Jackson's doing. I just don't. I think we have to understand also from a media standpoint and the fan standpoint, this is only a story because he doesn't have a contract. If he has a contract and he's hurt, right? Yeah. We're not probably talking about this, right? Nobody's talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. He got hurt, serious injury. Does anybody know if Jimmy Garoppolo was with the team this past week? No, because why? Because Jimmy Garoppolo has a contract and Brock Purdy's playing well. Tyler Huntley's not playing well. Okay, so it makes it elevated that we're talking about Lamar. If Tyler Huntley is winning the last 6 games Lamar didn't play, it's not as big of a story because Huntley's winning, we're winning. Yeah. But because they're losing, they just lost.
And it was a winnable game too. So
it was a winnable game.
He did enough to almost pull it through, but that back-breaking, I'm going to jump over, get nowhere near the touchdown, like nowhere near, and then the ball just flies out of his hand and forgot to do ran 90-something yards back. That broke the game.
Crazy.
I've never seen that before.
But I hadn't. But I will say this as well. Lamar tweeted something out that I saw like literally before we went on this podcast. Right, I saw it in conjunction with what Robert Griffin was saying. He tweeted something basically. It's a few sentences, kind of like a cute little poem, but not a poem. Right? He's talking kind of maybe passive aggressively. He's talking a little bit in code, but you understand what he's saying. And basically what the tweet said, or the whatever he put it on. Yeah. When you don't feel appreciated, you don't feel cared for, you don't feel this, you don't feel that, it doesn't make you want to do certain things. You should take care of things that you value. He's basically, it seems like he's talking to the organization like, hey, you should take care of me. I've taken care of you. You should take care of me. If you value something, you take care of it. Right. So some could look at it like he's talking at looking at the organization, like, why didn't you pay me? This is what happens. You get what you get. Or he's talking about maybe his legs. You know, his legs are important to him. He values his legs, his future, so he's taking care of it. He's taking care of himself by not playing. So, but he's not helping the cause because he makes little tweets or whatever, like statements like that, and it makes people guess about what's really going on. Is he hurt? Is he not? I think he's clearly hurt. Lamar Jackson has showed me in his career he's played hurt before when it's been lesser of an injury. He seems like a tough guy. The way he plays, the way he leads. There's no drama with this guy. Like, I give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he's hurt, but I also think there is a part of his brain where he's like, y'all should have paid me in the beginning of the year. And he was having a good year. He was playing well. They should have gave him his money. But the business side of Pedro and the business side of a lot of owners, I think, would say, well, this is why we didn't pay you, Lamar. You're hurt. Last year you were hurt. This year you're hurt. We made the playoffs. You weren't available. Your biggest thing is you got to be available, right? So it's a weird situation, but somebody's going to pay him, whether it's the Lions, the Raiders. There's going to be a lot of teams looking for a quarterback, and Lamar Jackson's still in his prime. So
he's probably going to get franchise tag. I don't think he's going to leave it. He's going to get what, $45 million if they franchise tag him.
Yeah, but that's only for a year. So
and that's what he has, and he's going to have to show improve. He can't. He's not going to be able to do that again. He's going to have to actually play. But this is a good comment from Dark Man Jeff. Appreciate you coming through. Yeah, I agree. He says, I wish Lamar had an agent. The reason why this has become so personal is because he's negotiating his own contract. I think him and his mother is doing that. Mm-hmm. And that's the reason why, and I've seen it many times, this is why you get an agent. And I understand they take their 10% or whatever the percentage is. That's a lot of money. I totally understand. But the agent takes a lot of things that the player probably should not hear. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Because the agent is doing it. He doesn't, you have a personal relationship with your agent, but they are looking at it as logical as possible to try to get you the most money. But the problem is the ownership is trying to find a way not to give you the most money. And I'm sure Lamar has probably heard some things that he did not appreciate. And now he uses social media. He's taking signs when someone says, pay that man. He has, I think most of the media is probably with him to extent.
Yeah,
saying,
I think so.
But I think that's the issue. I think it bothers people. It's bothering him personally. It's like, wow, is that what you think? Because I never had to negotiate my contract necessarily for, most of that was W-2 work. But imagine that you were negotiating and they were trying to find all the problems with you for you not to get your money. How would you respond? How would you feel? Say, hey, Pedro, I don't think you're that good. Or you make this mistake. So I don't think so. You may feel different coming to work the next day after we and you have negotiated and we haven't finalized anything. Like, how do you deal with that every day, especially playing football at the highest level?
Yeah, it's a good point. If he's in the room and his mom's there and he's actually seeing and hearing these things versus an agent being in the room and the agent
they lie to you, but they kind of like, oh, it's good, man. Don't worry about it. We still negotiate some things. Don't how agents talk. You've seen a few of. They probably do that. They try to cool it down. They try to make it seem like, hey, don't worry about it. We going through emotions, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he's hearing everything.
Well, and I think when you think about it like this, like when you don't have an agent, right? Or if you don't have a lawyer in certain situations.
Lawyers are good.
What do you think is going to happen? Like the judge or the prosecutor might take advantage of that, right? And you see what I'm saying? So it could be the Ravens looking like, oh, he doesn't have this, he doesn't have that. Let's see what we can get by. Let's see. And I think he's maybe overvalued maybe the relationship part of it and the business side with the Ravens, because it seems like he's had a good relationship with them and the coach. And I think this is a business. The NFL it can be shady, man. These owners, they'll cut you. The contracts aren't usually guaranteed. We're just starting to see that recently, especially with quarterbacks. So I don't know. I think somebody's going to pay him. I think he's going to get his money because he's that talented and he's still young enough, and somebody's going to pay him. I think it might not be the longevity he might be looking for, but it could be, a 3-year, $140 million, right? And then maybe he can say, okay, maybe I can get another 3-year, 140. That way you get a 6 and 280, which is a lot of money. I mean, it just is, right? So I could see him still being okay. I don't know if he's going to be with the Ravens. I was going
to ask you a question. Do you think he is the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens next season?
I think with Derek Carr leaving or being let go or mutually whatever. I think now that you've got two organizations that are going to be in the running that could have some money, Raiders, Lions, it just gives another out for Lamar and another team that might be pursuing him. And I would even throw in teams like the Seahawks. I know they got Geno Smith, but he's not on guaranteed contract. So,
Right.
There are a lot of teams that might go after him. But I think Raiders and the Lions for me, and these are two teams that have a lot of other good offensive weapons. The Lions, to me, like if Lamar goes to the Lions, they're in the playoffs next year. And they're a dangerous team with that coach and the aggressive style that they play. Like, I mean, that's scary. So I would love to see him in Detroit, actually. But
it'd be nice because I don't know what the Lions have been able to cheer, except towards the end of the season where it looked like they were going in the right direction. Jared Goff, but actually Jared Goff didn't play that bad either. So like, I guess you would let go of Jared Goff.
Lamar Jackson. You let go of Jared Goff. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think he comes back. I think they hit him with a franchise tag, or maybe they just clean this up and give him the kind of contract that he's been hurt. He deserves that contract, man. Because if he played with a brace on, I think they won that game. I think they won that game. Just the threat of him changes the perspective. He could have, and I don't think he should have played. I disagree with Michael Vick. I'm disappointed with Michael Vick's comments, to be honest. Like, dude, do you understand the dynamics going on? You're saying put a brace on it. I mean, his career was shortened, obviously for some other reasons, but
for other reasons, yeah.
he got hurt. RG3, literally the guy that was on the same team. Lamar saw what happened when he just put a brace on it.
Yep. And RG3 played when he shouldn't have. He played when he had, ACL, and I think that, these guys, it's all hindsight though. Like, I think Vic said that in the way he said, like, oh, I played a whole season with this. He was kind of making it about him. He was like comparing, oh, I'm tougher than you, Lamar. You should just play. Well,
which is weird. That's a weird thing.
Which is weird. It is weird. It is weird, but
there's different circumstances. Who knows? Like, do you have your contract? I'm sure you had your stuff signed. You was getting paid.
Right.
Did you do it on a year that you were negotiating, where they were not giving you what you wanted and they were trying to jerk you around? So I was actually disappointed with Michael Vick and his. It was just so flippant. Like, no, this is more of a complicated situation. It's not as simple as you think. And then also the fact that he did not remember what happened to RG3.
Yeah. And I think if he, we don't know how injured, we could look at a report and say, oh, I heard he was limping. I heard this. Now he's sick. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, if he has a contract with some guaranteed money, he's probably a little more incentivized to play, because now it's like, okay, if I do get hurt even more, at least I have my future and my family will have a little more insurance and protections. Well, I want to go out here and play and get hurt and then maybe get nothing. That's not, the risk versus reward. I think he's looking at everything. I think he's trying to make a good business decision the same way the Ravens are. And I can't blame him for that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just a little disappointed, but Cliff Dog, Vic out of everyone should be backing Lamar.
I know.
But you know what? I like the fact that you could tell Vic's competitive fire kind of came out. No matter how long these players have not played, you can still like, I could have went out there. Like, old man, no, you probably shouldn't, and you wouldn't. And if you were in a position where you could make life-changing, like you said, generational wealth money, do you care about one game where they show that they're not going to pay your money? So you gotta play hardball because they're playing hardball with you. It just doesn't make sense. I feel like this is not kind of similar to Kawhi Leonard back in the Spurs, where they kind of, he's like, he had a quad injury. And I think either Tony Parker, someone said, well, I had that same injury.
Yeah.
And that was your teammate. I think it was Tony Parker. That's why Kawhi was like, well, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Like, you guys are not back. Like, so you guys, like, Kawhi Leonard's a strong dude. It's funny that Tony Parker will come out and say, well, I played on that injury. So you're trying to say I'm milking it, you're trying to say I'm lying, you're trying to say I don't care about the team. When you make those kind of comments, it could really fracture. Now they're not teammates, but you don't want to make it seem like a person's milking. I think that's because you sound like a person's quitting. This is a negotiation for a contract.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. And And I feel like we've been seeing this the last few years. A lot of quarterbacks change teams. We've seen a lot of that in the last 4 or 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Big name quarterbacks, not just your average dude, like big names moving around. And I think Lamar's going to be somewhere else. I could see it. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not going to be surprised if he stays either, but I think we're going to continue to see this shifting of some quarterbacks here and there, some new rookies coming in. The NFL is very short memory for these coaches and quarterbacks. Like, it's a win now league. You got to show me right now. And I don't even care what you did for me before. Like, I need to win this year. Right. And I think that's how these organizations are ran. And I think that's going to continue. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Right now in the Cowboys game, it's 10 minutes left. I'm sure by the time you guys listen to this, you'll know who won.
Oh, wow.
It looks like Cowboys is going to do 31-6.
Yeah, that's.
Do you think this is the last game for Tom Brady?
Yeah. I mean, he didn't, he put up a lot of passing yards this year, but he didn't look that great.
The whole team didn't look good.
The team looks really bad. Yeah, I could see him. I mean, he should. He's literally got nothing else to prove, right? And he still has his wits with him. He's not hurt, so why not? I mean,
but he lost his family for this season.
Yeah, I mean,
it probably wasn't.
I don't think it was that. I doubt that, and he'll be fine. Tom Brady will retire. He'll have his kids. He'll see him whenever. He'll get some beautiful woman at some point. Tom Brady will be fine.
Speaking of beautiful woman, Tom Brady has I guess alleged to have a new girlfriend. Let me see if I can find
she
her.
Looks like an IG model, I'm sure. Yeah.
Let's see. Maybe you're right. So
I mean,
jeez.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
She didn't even look real.
She doesn't. I'd actually, that's a done up kind of woman. You all know I don't like done up IG models. I'd expect him to do a little bit better. She looks.
Her name is Veronica Rajek, model.
Yeah.
She has the Tom Brady
jersey. Looks better there. She looks better in that picture.
Yeah. But she looks like she's in her 20s.
Yeah, good for him. God damn, Tom. This guy.
Right?
Young enough to be his daughter, basically.
Yeah. Hey. She's older than 18, then you know what I'm saying? Yeah, don't be hating.
Listen.
He has a type. Yeah.
He's got a type.
Yeah, he did not look. He looked older this season. He looked gaunt sometimes. He looked like he wasn't eating. I think the family stuff probably didn't help his situation.
I mean, it adds a lot of stress to your body and your mind, right?
Yeah. So it looked like it just wasn't in the works for it. And I'm just happy I didn't bet on that game tonight, because everyone. If the Cowboys would have lost this game, I don't know what would have happened to Dak or the organization. Like,
I'm looking at the stat line. Dak is 305 yards, 4 touchdowns. I think he showed up today. Tom Brady, 217, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He's got no running game. They rushed for like 20 yards. I mean, the Buccaneers weren't ready, man. Dallas is stacked. So tough out. I think
they're supposed to win. Right, they're supposed to win. So, so far you see the teams have won. Who hasn't? Obviously, the ones who haven't, they're going home. So, I think your teams are still in it. So, but you still got your, you got the Bills and who got coming up.
I got the Chiefs. I thought it was going to be Chiefs or Bills. I think the Chiefs are the clear AFC favorite, in my opinion. They got the best player right now, best quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. Good play calling. They got a decent defense. I mean, they got weapons all over still. Got a good gear offensively. And I think I still am leaning towards the Eagles. I mean, I think the Niners the Niners are there, but I think the Eagles, I mean, they've been the best team in the NFC. I don't think that's going to stop. I'm rooting for the Giants to beat them, but I just don't know if it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's a possibility. I think, Giants have it's been really nice to see the quarterback kind of just, he was getting destroyed here. Like, I think a lot of people didn't like Daniel Jones. He has a foolish looking face sometimes, makes bad decisions. But I was going to bring this up, and good thing I remember it. We talk about coaching and whether it's really important or not important, or, how important is it? We talk about different sports like basketball, football. And I think I'm coming back to the conversation. I think coaching matters more than we think. for many reasons. I think, Brian Daboll, he had to make sure that this guy was confident enough to go out there every game. I think even with Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence throws how many interceptions, and Doug Peterson is like, no, you got this. I mean, how many people if I had my guy throw 4 in one half, I would be like, all right, man, pack it up. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, but the fact that he's like, no, you can do this. Coaching matters, I think. It may be in NFL more than the NBA, but a good coach can change a lot of things for your organization.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think there's a lot with football because you have so many coordinators, specialists, so many players, right? So with basketball, it's way different. But with football, I mean, you look at the Belichicks and the Pete Carrolls and the Mike Tomlins. These guys are usually in the playoffs, usually, leading their teams to successes and things like that. And coaching them and getting them like kind of here first versus getting them
I think that's
here.
where
I think that's super important. I think Pete Carroll and Tomlin I think they're masters at that. They're invested in their players, and their players want to go out there and go to battle for them. I don't know if you saw this. And speaking of coaching, and if it matters, you got the Mike McDaniel, the young kind of guy from the Dolphins. You see people in the controversy with him vaping on the sidelines yesterday.
I didn't think it was that serious. I mean,
me neither. I'm like, what the? Why is this? Who cares? Like, I don't understand it.
Back in my day, I've seen the baseball managers chewing tobacco, like and
smoking
spitting
cigarettes. No. You would see in the NFL in the 70s, players and coaches smoking cigarettes. So I don't understand like this whole. I don't know.
Are we just bored? Like, is that the reason why they lost? No, because Tula Tagovailoa hit his head too many damn times, and he wasn't able to play. I mean, that was it. And they still had a chance.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching the game in the beginning. I'm like, yo, Bills beating the crap out of this team, And then I think I stopped watching, and then Dolphins came back. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
So about Bills, man, I don't know. Josh
Allen turns the ball over so much. If you look at his numbers this year, they're gaudy. But if you look at I think he led the league in NFL quarterback fumbles. He was top. I'm sure he was top 5 in interceptions. Without even looking, I already know it. And so he turns over the ball a lot. Now, he's also going to give you probably a rushing touchdown a game, 3 throwing touchdowns.
He got the arm where he's got the arm.
He's tough. He's tough on third down because he could throw or run for it. But he fumbles a lot, and that's what got him back in that game. They forced he threw 2 picks. He had a fumble return.
Yeah.
So Josh Allen, man, I don't know. He's Patrick Mahomes don't do that kind of stuff. He doesn't make mistakes like that.
Patrick had like a fumbling or making a lot of dumb decisions. Not this season, but like last season, it was like a few games. It's like, what's going on? But that someone needs to reel him in. And Josh, I think that Josh trying to do too much. That's the one knock on him. Like, I actually, if the Bills was able to win it all, that'll be nice. Even before the Darnell Hamlin thing. Because there's everyone on the team seemed to be likable, cool people. Yeah. I like Josh Allen. But it's just something about that team. They want to make it as dramatic as possible. They can't just they can't just cruise to win. They gotta let's make this interesting. Let me drop the ball on the ground a few times. I'm not sold on the Bills, but we'll see.
I think the Bengals are going to be a tougher opponent for the Chiefs than the Bills. That's my opinion. The Bengals are I think they've won the last 3 games versus the Chiefs. Joe Burrow, and they got a good squad over there, good defense,
confident, obviously,
weapons. Burrow's got a lot of swag when he plays. He's not afraid of any situation. Was in the Super Bowl last year, so he's kind of got that.
They took care of the line. He doesn't get sacked as much as he used to because he was getting obliterated. For the time he started playing, he was getting. They finally fixed that, so it's going to be really interesting. I don't know if I'm gonna drop some bets on the next games, but definitely I'm not gonna touch the Giants. We'll see.
Just watch it and enjoy watching it. That way you're not vested in some kind of monetary gain or loss. You know what I mean?
Daniel Hustle is like Niners Giants for the NFC Championship. I like that. I mean, Jalen Hurts have to be hurt. or someone kidnaps him like Celtic Pride. I don't keep bringing that movie up where they grabs the best player from like the Jazz. I forgot the story, but that Eagles have to.
Typically, a team coming off a bye in the NFL playoffs, I think they usually win. They just do. You're another week rested. You're more prepared. You're got that bye because you were the best in the conference. So the cards are stacked against the Giants. But I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if they win. I just think this would be a bigger upset than them beating the Vikings. Clearly.
Oh, clearly, this is like. I mean, going back to history, this is the Giants going to Lambeau and beating the Packers. Like no one thought that was going to happen.
Good comparison, yeah.
Because the Packers they were legit, and it took a field goal to win it.
Speaking of the Packers, I'm so happy they didn't make the playoffs, and the Lions beat them. The Seahawks got in. If the Seahawks would have lost, I think the Lions would have got in because they, But I'm happy to see Patrick or Aaron Rodgers sitting at home doing whatever he's doing because I'm not a big fan. More
of those insurance commercials. I assume.
Who knows?
State Farm.
He's goofy. I don't like it.
I have no idea what's going to happen there. Is he going to come back? Does it matter? He's going to retire? Like, does he care?
Who knows? I hope he. Who knows? He's got some weird kind of girlfriend. It's like a witch doctor, or like a voodoo something. They're just going to go to like.
Does she got big? She got big titties too, or let me see.
I'm sure she does. Yeah, I don't know. They all do. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they all do, right? Like you're never like a normal looking woman. They had to be bursting at the seams.
She's super eclectic. I saw one picture of her somewhere, and she's super eclectic looking. I think she's got like dark hair. She looks like somebody from the 70s. It would have been a Woodstock.
Yeah. I'm not sure if this is the one, but she kind of looks like Danica Patrick a little bit.
I don't know.
They look related.
Well, he's got a type too. So
yeah, he got a type that looks like himself. I'm trying to look, but I can't find the exact thing. But
I'm sure
we'll see. All right. Before we end this, we always talk about music here, and this is a non-hip hop related pick. I've been listening to this music for the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna show you a little bit of a song, and you may change how you look at me. Probably not. It may just say, no, this is typical. No, this makes sense. Hannibal.
I'm sure you said worse. I'm sure this isn't going to be something that's going to make me feel different about you because you said some outlandish things. And so have I. So both of us have. So I think we're good.
Again, we was talking about, is it interesting? Is there still bands out there that are playing at least something more contemporary that's not from the 90s and 2000s that I'll be interested in? And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I think Spotify kind of brought this up, and I started listening to it, and they have a look that I think fits the way everyone looks now. Mm-hmm. But I like their music, and they're actually going to be here in the city, and I'm going to probably check it out. Okay. So let me put it, and their name. The name is. Let me tell you the name right now. They're called Magic City Hippies.
Magic City Hippies. I might listen. I've listened to some hippie music, so we might not be. I might like it. We'll see.
All right. Let me. At least their main song that I've seen. It came out a year ago. Let me see if I can pop this up real fast. Yeah, I'm looking at the name like, really?
Are they from Atlanta?
I don't know where they're from. I have no. They look they're from the West Coast somewhere. They look happy. Clearly. They don't look too upset about life. All right, let me see if you can actually hear it because I'm going to have to unmute this jammy. All right, let me start from the beginning first. We're gonna play a few minutes and we'll see if this is a live reaction with Pedro.
Let's go.
All right. Come on.
Let me listen.
Bobby said, "Oh hell no."
All right, I don't like how he looks, and I don't like how he looks. It's a little. Listen, I'll say this: I don't dislike the song. It's got like a. If I'm, I would not go see them live, and I don't like how he looks. I don't dislike the
Cliff Dog. Are you guys gonna not be my friends anymore? Cliff Dog had like a really
You know, he looked like a guy that I saw. A couple guys I saw on the cruise ship, and they were very like flowy. As a word I'll use.
Yeah,
and, like,
I know,
were,
but I know what you're really trying to say, Pedro. I know what you're trying to say.
It's flowy, flowy, just real flowy. And
listen, they may look flowy, but they probably get a lot of women. All right, regardless.
Or guys, they might get a lot of guys. I mean, listen, it doesn't matter. They might. I'm just saying. The opening cut of that video, and he's like, he does like a little something.
All right, their look. I'm not gonna argue with the look. I like their music. I didn't know what it looked like until I saw the video. I didn't watch the video and said I like these guys. I was listening to on Spotify, and I don't know.
Bobby says hippies with the synthesizer.
Yeah, but how old? I mean, the synthesizer probably came out in the 60s.
But listen,
at the concert.
Those guys are not hippies. Okay, not if you want some hippie music, check out a guy called Hippie Sabotage. Okay, so anybody that's watching right now. I'm sure they might be. I've got them on Apple. Hippie Sabotage. That is some hippie music, and the beats and the melody. It's a little hippie, a little rappy, a little. So
it popped as soon as I typed.
Okay, Hippie Sabotage. Go to.
So which song you want me to put on?
So I want you to put on. Let me. I'm going to go to. You can go to this album right here. Hold up. Let me go to my catalog.
You got 25 million views. Trust Nobody. Devil Eyes.
Go to. Oh, damn, where's it on my
500 million views?
Yeah, they're like a cult
kind
of
big deal.
following. Yeah, they're a big deal. Go to the album. It's got a red background. I forget the name of it. Hold on. Albums.
The problem is that they have videos, so you have to let me know like exact what song you want.
Yeah. Okay, let me look it up. Hold on.
You guys are haters. Listen. I mean, if you guys don't like Maroon 5. Old Maroon 5, not the new stuff. I like Maroon 5. I like that kind of, they're soulful brothers. Right. I mean, they're vanilla, whatever. But I think it has some really good songs. And if you guys want to give us some women or guys, you want to put some stuff that gets you in the mood. It's sultry.
Okay. I want you to go to Red. The album is Red Moon Rising.
Okay.
And you can go to the first song, or you can go to the third one. So number 1, number 3, it doesn't matter. Start with 1.
All right, so I'm gonna go with the album, and then
Red Moon Rising. Yeah.
I have to reshare. How do you reshare the thing? Okay. So Red Moon. So I'm gonna go the full album, and we'll just play a few minutes.
It's like super like stoner music, kind of, but like this is hippie music. It makes you like if you don't like, and there's a good little beat drop in here.
Okay.
Underneath my skin, I can never win.
Wait for it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel right. Happiness comes at a steep price.
It makes you want to like kill somebody. So Hannibal's got like guys with martini glasses and shit and little shirts.
Oh,
I'm bringing you this stuff.
Yeah. I'll mess with this.
It's good rhyme music. Yeah.
I'll mess with this. I'll listen to this. I like this. Like a little emo-ish kind of little, I'll mess with this. I mean, I'm not going to insult it the way you just insulted. Listen, that was a bad video. It looked
that was a bad video, but that's what you showed me.
But I tell you, they got some good music. But I'll mess with that. I like that actually. And they're super popular. I was looking at their stuff. I'm like, they're getting. Well, my band had like 14,000 subscribers. So we'll we gotta build them up. Maybe
so they're kind of like a smaller band a little bit. Then.
Yeah, they're not big. They're not big, but they've been doing it. It seems like they have some stuff from like 7 years ago. So they, these bands when you see them blow up, clearly they've probably been in the game 10 years. You just don't know them yet.
Yeah.
But I actually like that. I'll probably listen to more of that. I'm sure you're not gonna listen to any Magic City Hippies, which is fine. Recommend it to your girl. She may be interested. If she's,
she don't listen to that shit either. No.
You know what? You know what? This is hurtful, but it's fine. Hopefully you guys will come back next episode because we played it and Bobby was like, "Oh hell no!"
right off the jump. I think his reaction was mine. Like, who's this guy? Like, why are his pants so tight? Like, what's going on here? I don't know what's happening.
Maybe I should have just played the song without the video, and maybe it would have worked. But that's fine. I still like what I like.
I think you probably listen. That's what we talk about music here, and like music is an emotion, right? It gives you, if you like it, you like it. Who cares what everybody else thinks? Like I like certain things. I like listening to Halsey. Who cares if somebody judges me for that? I listened to the new Miley Cyrus song today. Kind of liked it. Don't care what anybody thinks, right? Because music is music, So if Hannibal wants to listen to guys drinking martinis poolside with little pleated pants, let him do it. Let him do it. Let him do it.
Well, I guess I won't be let this one down anytime soon. Dark Man yesterday from Miami. Probably. Yeah. I forgot. He said they're silly as hell. I could definitely see their music catching on.
I mean, that's a good point too. But listen, you can't take all the wins. You got to take an L once a week. Hannibal, your team won. You're riding high still. It's all good.
Yeah. This is a good. This is a good comment to end it. In the podcast on. We went from sunshine and rainbows to devils and darkness. That's if we can do that, we can bring those two together. I think that's a good show.
Hippie Sabotage would not be caught dead anywhere near those.
You think all right? If there's a fight, you think who would win that fight with that band? I'm sure it's a band, right? I'm assuming. And Magic City Hippies. Who do you think will win that contest?
I think the Hippie Sabotage, the one guy.
Is it the one guy?
Could take the three of them. Yeah. So I think that would not even be a problem. Yeah.
They could take a martini glass, throw it in the guy's face, and then they'll rush him.
Hippie will do a line of some kind of drug, take a hit of a bong rip, and then just run through those guys.
I bet you they'd be fun as hell to hang out with. Now, not
probably
anything else. Just
listen. I was poolside for 7 days drinking martinis and margaritas, so I got no problem with the lifestyle. I just don't want to see it in a video like that with the guy dancing on.
So you don't have shorts that high?
Oh, I wear what do they call them? I wear short shorts. What do they call them? The
19. What NBA 19?
Yeah. Oh, for 80s. Sure. I was poolside all week with those. What do they call them? The ladies call them something. They call them thigh something or hoochie daddy shorts. I wear those all day long. Yeah. No
playing basketball.
I got no shame. I almost brought my Speedo, but I was like, nah, I can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do that. You don't want to start a goddamn riot out there. Holy moly. But on that note, guys, I think we had too much fun already. Thank you for coming through. Let me actually see if the game is officially ended. I think it probably did. Or at least close. Yeah, it's done. Yeah, it's 2-3 minutes left. Cowboys going to win. We'll see how they do. With the 49ers and whatnot. But thank you guys for checking out the podcast. Enjoy the rest of your night. Be good.
Yes. I guess we'll see you guys on Wednesday. So
see you Wednesday. Peace.